Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited to be filming this video and filming again just in general, but especially filming this video. If you guys did not see my video before, and obviously you guys know by the title of this video, but if you didn't see my video from before when I talked about this, I'm gonna talk about it now. And I opened a retail store. So not an office, not a showroom, an actual retail storefront. So I am so excited that I did this. It really all just kind of happened, and it was like one sign after another that led me to open this store, and I really felt like it was the right thing to do. I know a lot of people have always told me, especially on YouTube, because if you guys have followed me for a while, you know I have wanted to open a store for the longest time. I've always said that, and a lot of people were like, why would you want to open a store? Like, that's so dumb. Like, everything's online now. So a lot of people, nobody in my personal life told me that, but a lot of people online in the past have said that, and I want to clear up why I opened the store and why I think it's a good idea. Also, I will be bringing out more content, so I'm really excited about that. I will be bringing out like more business related content. Obviously my content has shifted a little bit. If you have followed me from the beginning, then you know that you probably found me through thrifting and stuff like that, and selling on eBay and Poshmark and all that stuff. I no longer really resell that type of stuff, not because I don't think it's not profitable, but just because it doesn't work for me anymore. I think businesses are like always changing, and it's really important to evolve and change and grow. And really the ultimate goal of all that is to make more money, and this is just what's worked for me. If you guys know, I've built a really a strong following on Instagram for my business, and it's gone really well. I've done it for like the last 3 years, and it went really well, and I figured since it's gone well, I really felt like it was the right time for me to get a location. So by location, I mean a place that I could work at. So I'm gonna just start by why I wanted an outside location from my house, and then I'll get into why the store worked best for me. So for starters, I did not want to work in the house anymore. I felt like I've been working at home on and off for 8 years. I've had 3 offices in the past, so literally office spaces. So I'm gonna just walk you guys through that. The first office space I rented was $900, and it was a very, very, very small space. When I say small, I mean it was 175 square feet. Like, it was really, really small, tiny. I could barely fit anything. So I quickly outgrew that space, and directly from that space I moved to another space that was, it kind of resembled a retail space, but it wasn't retail. It was in offices, but it was on a lower level. It had like a door like a retail store has, and it resembled a retail store, but it was still an office. Like, there wasn't foot traffic. It wasn't anything like that. So, but I was really happy there. I really liked it. It was a nice space. It was 300 square feet, and this one was 1,090, I believe it was. 1,090. So I was there for a year. The one before that I was also there for a year, but this one I was there for a year as well, and then the lease ended, and I just felt like I wanted to go back and work from home, because at that point I was in school when I was doing all this. So my classes were really easy with the first office I had, but now at this point my classes had become a lot harder because I was getting closer to graduation. So my classes had become a lot harder, and I was spending a lot more time at school, and it just didn't make sense for me at that moment to have a location. So I decided I didn't want that, and I was still living with my parents at that time. So I moved my office back there temporarily. I think I was only there at that point. I think I was there for like a year, probably under a year, but my parents were so kind and amazing. They're the best people I know, but they were so amazing that they gave me a whole section of their house, which used to be my dad's gym. So he moved his gym to the garage, and so I had my bedroom, and then they gave me like the guest quarter of the house as my office. So it was a really nice space for my office. It was great. I loved it. But then I moved out, and at that same time when I moved out, it was with my husband, but then boyfriend, we moved out to Las Olas, and we lived over there. But then I also needed an office. But at that time when I signed my office lease, I knew we were in the process of moving out, but I found a really nice office by where he used to live, which was in Miami Lakes. So I found a really nice office space there, and I really liked it. And at that time I didn't really know we were moving out, so I signed the lease for a year, and it ended up being a disaster because we moved out, and then we found like our dream place in Las Olas, and we wanted to move there. And at the time I was like still kind of in school and stuff, so it wasn't like that big of a deal of a commute. But then it became really a headache because I had to go from Las Olas to Miami Lakes, which is like a 30-minute commute one way without traffic. So it was like a headache. It was the worst decision. I basically didn't use the office. I used it like very rare, like twice or 3 times a week I would use it. And there I was paying the most that I've ever paid in rent, which was $1,300 plus internet and all that stuff. And it was about 700 square feet. So it was a pretty nice size, but it was a weird design. So that was my third office. Then after that, we realized that living in Las Olas, like downtown Fort Lauderdale, was not for us. We like to move now that I think of it. But anyway, so it was like not for us. We weren't really far from like family, but we were like, it was still like annoying to get over there. The nearest Publix was like 10 minutes away from us, and I didn't really like the Publix. It was like you had to park in a parking garage. It was just like weird. I didn't like it that much. So and it was like far from Eddie's work, so it just wasn't working out. So we wanted to move more. South and west. Yeah, we wanted to move more south and west so we would be closer to family and stuff. So we found an amazing apartment complex, and at that point I canceled my lease from the year. I always lived out my lease. I've never like not lived a lease out. So I lived out my lease, so I was commuting. And then we got a 2-bedroom apartment, which is where you guys found me, was in my 2-bedroom apartment. Then you guys know we bought a house and all that stuff. So things changed, and you know, whatever. So for the past like 3 years, yeah, 3 years, I worked from our apartment pretty much. So when we got the house, I was lucky enough, we had a spare bedroom. Well, we had 2, now we have 2 spare bedrooms, but well, we've always had 2 spare bedrooms because one of them was reserved for like when we have a baby, and then the third one was gonna be my office. So now we have 2 literally empty bedrooms right now, but that's besides the point. Hopefully soon it won't be empty because we will have a baby. But so now we have 1 empty bedroom because my office is not there. So the reason I wanted to go retail was because if you guys notice on the prices that I mentioned before, they were very expensive for just being office spaces. Like I wasn't getting any traffic. It was an office space. It was not a store. So with what I do, I wanted like a nice size because at times I can have more inventory and stuff like that, and I wanted room to have just like a setup. So I didn't necessarily need something as big as my store is, but I started looking for office spaces in my area, so within a 10-mile radius, because I didn't want to be more than 10 miles away from our house. So I knew I wanted to be close to the house, and I was looking everywhere for a few months. I was looking, and I couldn't find anything that was reasonably priced because everything was like between $1,000 and $2,000 for like a nice space and a nice building and a nice area. So it wasn't working out, and I knew I didn't want to work from home because I don't really like working from home now that I've gotten older and things have changed, and it has its benefits. I really enjoyed it while I did, but I felt like I needed to get out of the house. So it was just, I felt like it wasn't working for me anymore. I didn't like it. So that was that. So that was the first part of it. So I knew I wanted an office space. I dreamed of having a store because I've just always wanted a store. I don't know why, but I've always wanted a store. And so I dreamed of having a store, but I didn't think that was something that was possible. It didn't feel possible. So I got pregnant, and when I got pregnant, I felt like maybe I shouldn't have a location, like maybe it's better to work from home. And then we had some complications, and I was told that we were maybe gonna lose the baby before we actually lost the baby. I was told things were a little shaky, like, you know, they didn't really know what was gonna happen. We didn't know what was gonna happen. And I was driving, literally my store is like 5 minutes away from where I live. And I was driving to the post office. I was so upset. I was like distraught that day. It was like the worst day of my life that day. And I was driving and I noticed a sign. Like, it was a sign and it said, retail space for rent. So I was like, wow, that's really crazy. So I called the number and I was like, it's probably gonna be too expensive, like it's not gonna happen. So I called the landlord and the landlord told me how much it was. He told me how much it was, and I will say, I'm not gonna say like my exact rent because I feel like it's not relevant, but it's under $2,000 a month. So my rent for my whole entire store with all expenses, so internet, everything like that, is under $2,000. So it's an older shopping center. It's an older shopping center down the street from me, like literally one shopping center to the right of me on University, because I'm in between Pine Island and University. That won't make any sense to you if you don't live in the area, but literally one shopping center. So my shopping center is here, one shopping center to the right, like there's one light in between us, one light. Is another shopping center, which is really nice. They just redid it. There's a Starbucks in there, there's a Publix in there, there's like a ton of really cool stuff in there. The rent there for the same exact space that I have is $5,000 a month. Plus you had to put down, I think it was 3 months worth of rent. And then you had to put down an additional, like, it was just a lot of money. So regardless, that was $5,000 a month. And it was the same size as this one. So I was like, that is insane. And that's the same as all the other shopping centers. Since this is an older shopping center, and if you guys ever come here, you'll notice it's an older shopping center, but in a really good area. That's why I'm paying what I'm paying, because it's an older shopping center. When you guys see, after you guys hear me talk, I'm gonna show like some before and afters of the space. Yeah, it was really bad. So Eddie worked his magic. Beautiful space. Everybody that walks in from the space, like the shopping centers, like, I can't even believe that this is the same space. And they're like, it looks like it doesn't even like belong here. They're like, it's gorgeous, it's beautiful. And so it's really nice in here now. But when we got it, it was really bad. And honestly, I want to say we put in of work. I wanted to keep it as reasonable as possible because I knew that, I don't know, if the retail space does well, I'll never move. I'll always keep this location. Me and Eddie already talked about it. Like, I would open another location. I wouldn't get rid of this location because the overhead is so low. But if, you know, it's a retail store. It's not my house. I don't live here, even though I'm going to be spending more time here. But I don't live here. It's not my house. It's my store. So we wanted to put in as little as work as possible. And we literally redid this whole space. We had to furnish it. We had to do a ton of stuff. We spent like under $10,000, and that's including like what I had to put as the deposit and all that. So it's a 3-year lease. It's not that long. It's 3 years. And it works for us. So that is why I decided on this location and not another location and not an office. So when I realized that the pricing was how it was, I was like, I'd rather pay an extra like $300 a month and maybe like have the potential, not maybe, but have the potential for people to come in the store and buy and shop than have an office that's really not going to be making me any money. So I do know there's really not many competitors in this area for consignment, because most of the consignment stores and resale designer stores are in the Miami area and in the Boca area. So there's some really big ones in Miami and some really big ones in Boca. And there isn't really too many out west. I do have one competitor that's in Plantation, so it's about 15 minutes away from me. So yeah, it's not that close, but they do really well. They've been there for years. And I just feel like having a location. Now I'm gonna go into, so now you guys know why I selected this space, why I selected a store from a financial standpoint and not an office. And I know I'm gonna get comments saying that it was a dumb idea to open a store because everything's the internet now. And I understand that, but you know, I've been working for myself and I've been in business for 8 years. Yeah, 8 years at this point. So I feel confident in my decision. I think it's a smart decision. I know my businesses. I know that no matter what, I am not under with what I sell online. So it it worked out really nicely. And for me, it felt like it was the right decision, especially because I've always wanted a boutique. I've always wanted a store. I've always literally wanted a store, and it makes me like really emotional because even yesterday at the grand opening, my mom was sitting with me and she was like, you finally got what you've wanted all these years. She was like, you finally got it. She was like, you've always wanted a store, and like, look, we're sitting in your store. So it was really a surreal moment for me. And I love the whole idea of going to a store, and I think that really started for me as a young girl. I don't recall, maybe it was my mom, she had a store, so maybe I fell in love with her store. And her store it wasn't even like a boutique, it was a printing store. It was basically like a UPS store is what it was, but she also did like stationery and stuff, and I just like fell in love with it, and I loved working there. Like as a little girl, I was like 10 and I would work there. I would like beg her, literally beg her to let me work there for the summer. So, and I would sell like my little bracelets, and it was just so fun, like bringing people out and just the whole store experience, the different people that come in and stuff. I just loved it. I loved it. I do not have that many local clients, but I have more local clients than I thought I did. And as it is, I have a lot of clients. By clients, I mean like I sell a lot on Instagram, but I have a lot of local clients that bring me inventory. So it's really nice now to have a place that people can come to. It's really nice to have a place like people can come to, like, and refer people to come to. I've already had a lot of people come in here and I've only been open for one day, but I have been working throughout the week. I worked in the store, and I had a lot of people come in, and I think it's gonna do really well. I mean, I'm not a fortune teller. I can't sit here and say, yes, in 6 months I'm gonna be making this, like, I can't say that because you never know in business, with online, with retail, like, you just never know. It doesn't matter what type of business you have, you just never know. But I feel really confident in the decision in opening a store. I feel really confident in the decision of me not working from home anymore. I know some people really enjoy working from home, but it was just not working for me anymore. I didn't like it. And I know we are in the process of hopefully getting pregnant and having a baby. So I pretty much have a plan already in place for that. But we'll work on it, of course, like once the baby comes. Right now, we don't need to talk about that because a baby is not happening like right in this second. So minimum, you know, like 9, 10, 11 months. So, you know, that's not really on my mind right now, because what's on my mind is just the present. I'm very good at that, at putting myself in the present and just like not paying attention to the future, or like the far future. Like, so I am totally in the present right now for this present moment. This is working for me, and I think it's gonna continue to work for me. And I'm just really happy with it. I'm really happy with the space. I'm really happy with the interactions I've had so far, and I haven't really even been officially open. Tuesday will be my first day. And I just feel like for my business model, especially with consignment pieces, it's a lot easier to take stuff in when you have a store. And especially since I do deal with pre-owned, like, luxury items, it's important, I think, for people, if they know I'm here, to come in and feel this stuff. Like yesterday I had somebody come in, and I had these Valentino rock slides that were available, and I was having a hard time selling them because shoes can be so tricky. And she saw them, she was like, these are literally new. Like, she was looking at them, she's like, these are new, they come with the box. She's looking at them and she's like, yeah, I want to buy them. Like, these are amazing. So for me to see something like that, it was such a quick sale compared to online. Then you have to worry of, like, you know, the buyers, what if they just see something they don't like. So it was a really smooth transaction being in the store. Actually, I had a few transactions yesterday, so I did notice that it was just a different experience and a different transaction, and I really liked it. And I think that secondhand is the wave of the future, and that's mainly why I opened a store, because I think more and more we're going to be seeing places like consignment stores, places like higher end thrift stores, because in my area, or maybe like in Palm Beach and in my area, there are higher end thrift stores. But I think we're going to start seeing a lot more of that. Like, even my neighbor that's been here for 15 years, she sells high end pre-owned furniture. So she does really well. She's been here for like 15 years. She's been in business for 25 years. So, and now she's saying that it's like a whole different business, and she's so busy and she has so many clients, and she has such a strong business, and she doesn't sell online. She doesn't even do social media. She doesn't do anything like that. I don't even think she does like Google or Yelp, nothing like that. And she does so well. So I think now especially, I think we're gonna start seeing like a shift in how things are sold when it's retail. Like I think big box stores like Nordstrom and Saks and all those places, not that they're gonna suffer, but I think there is gonna be a shift in who has the upper hand in the market. Especially now that you're seeing big box retail stores like Dillard's, Steinmart, Century 21, like a bunch of stores that are now carrying pre-owned items, and they're selling a lot of them. Like people are paying these crazy prices for them because they are so overpriced there. But you're seeing that now more and more in malls and places that you would never see that before. So I think there is going to be a shift, and I think I got in on the shift at a good time, especially for what I do. So I feel very confident. I feel really proud that I've done this by myself, well, with my husband, because we're a team. But my husband, I could have never done this without him. Never in a million years. And not even just the fact that he just did all the layout and the construction and the building of everything, but just the fact of having the support. And also we have all of our finances 100% together, so I couldn't make this decision without him being on board with me, because it's our money, it's not just my money. And even though I make money and he makes his own money, but we have our money combined. So I can't just make a decision that could impact both of us without him. And he fully believes in me and supports me. And to have that type of support and somebody believing in me, it's like, how could I fail? Like somebody believes in me more than I believe in myself. So that's really amazing. And my parents support me. My parents are really happy. My dad thinks it's a great idea, and he never says anything's a great idea because he's very like cautious. But my mom thinks it's a fantastic idea. She's so happy with it. But my dad also thinks it's a good idea. I mean, it's just for the place that I am in my life right now, I think it's a really nice, swell idea. So I'm really happy with it. If you are in South Florida, Davie, Florida to be exact, it's about 15 minutes from downtown Fort Lauderdale. Yesterday, it was Saturday, we got there in 15 minutes to Las Olas. So we're about 15 minutes from Fort Lauderdale, like downtown Fort Lauderdale. I would say about 30 minutes from Boca, probably an hour, 45 to an hour of Palm Beach, depending on where in Palm Beach you go. And then from Miami, we are like 15 minutes from like the first sign that says like Miami city limits. But throughout all of Miami, I would say like the furthest from downtown or Coral Gables is like 45 minutes. So we are in a very central location for South Florida. So if you are in the area, please stop by and visit us. Not to buy anything, just to come in and not to come in to shop, just to come in and say hi and just chat. I'd love to meet you. If you do come in, just, you know, it'll be really fun. You can have some coffee. I have an espresso machine, so yeah. It's not mine. My mom gave it to me. It was a present from my brother's ex-girlfriend. She never used it, so she gave it to me. So it's an espresso machine. That's what we'll be serving in here. I'm pretty excited about that. Even though I don't like coffee, but it's like so fancy. But yeah, so an espresso, come have a drink. I'll have some wine, some champagne. Come hang out. So yeah, that is pretty much where I'm at now. Saturday was my first official day here, which was yesterday, but it was my grand opening. Tuesday is my first day of my first week working in the store. So I'm really excited. It'll definitely be a change for me, but I'm pretty excited. Now, back to the content I'm going to be posting. I am definitely going to be posting different type of content on here on my YouTube channel. I'm working on a course also, which I briefly had mentioned a while back, but I am working on a course. The course is not eBay or Poshmark related. It is having your own platform type of course. So it's geared to people that want to transition and have their own platform. That's what my course will be more like. So I will be having more information about that down the line. But other than that, that is where I'm at here. So do expect more content coming from me, and more presence on YouTube. If you guys want to follow me on social, you guys can follow me at my personal Instagram, which is Steph Andreo. It's linked below, or you guys can follow me on my business page if you guys want to follow there. If you guys have like a question for me though, just message me on my personal account, not my business page, because that gets confusing. And I get a lot of messages coming in there. So I'm on my personal page is where you could like, if you have a question or something, you can contact me there. And other than that, that is all I have for you guys. I'm really excited. I can't wait to begin this new chapter, and I'm for sure bringing you guys along with me via vlog. So if you guys want to stop in, like I said, stop in. If you guys aren't local and you guys are ever in Florida, come in. If not, hopefully my videos will make you feel as if you are here. So thank you so much for watching this video. I'm sorry for my absence from YouTube. We were just going through a lot of stuff. If you didn't see my video before this one, you guys know we did suffer a miscarriage, and it's been the hardest thing I've ever dealt with. It's been really difficult. I don't want to get into it right now because I'll get very emotional, but we did find out our baby was a girl, so that was a nice kind of like a closure to that, and it's been really good for healing for me to know that. So we've had a really difficult few months, but I feel like we have gone through, because really the only way out is through. That's pretty much all I can say about the grief we've experienced. But yeah, so I hope you guys like this video. I hope you guys like my store, and I hope you guys understand why I did this. And if you guys don't think retail is a good idea, I think it's a good idea. So that's just my business model. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. I will see you guys in my next video. If you aren't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I can't wait to see you guys again. Until next time, bye.